Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today I wanted to share, out of all the Christmas cards I've made this year, I have to say, I think this one might be my favorite. And it's actually pretty easy to do. So, just a 5x7 card. It's fairly flat. Just a little bit of some stamping in the background, some vellum, a die cut, and a sentiment. Super easy. But let me show you how it's made. So we're going to start with our stamping. So I've just got a piece of white stamping card. It's 6 3/4 by 4 3/4, so that I get enough for a little green matte layer. And I can't remember if I told you, but I got a new Sizzix stamping platform, and I'm really loving it. So it's got a sticky mat instead of magnets. So we just place our card down and it sticks, which I really like. And then the tree that I'm using, this is actually a Christmas tree stamp I got off Amazon. I was trying to find a tree the right size, and this one is almost just perfect. So, and we're just going to place it, and I'm just going to stamp in the background. So let's pick it up. And then I'm stamping with Quick Dry Harmony Spectrum Noir Harmony Quick Dry inks, and this is Frosty Jade, which is kind of a light green. And I know you can't see me all the way over here because it's a good size stamping platform, but and it doesn't have to be a perfect image. In fact, that's perfect. That's fine. And I'm just going to stamp all the lightest green ones first. So I'm going to put one there. Maybe one there. And you just have to think about your main tree is going to go on the top here or wherever you're going to put it. So you got to think about where do you want your other trees. And you don't want, you know, a ton. You don't need a whole forest back there. It's just more. Looks pretty good. I'm going to do one more light tree. Put it. And you don't want them all in a line, so vary the height a little bit. Okay, and then I did do one darker tree, kind of right in here, just for a little bit difference. And I used green topaz, which is the sort of the next darker in the color family. Okay, let's peel that off of there. Set that one aside. Now the only thing with the sticky mat is you got to remember to cover it up, otherwise it'll lose its stick. But I'm liking this new stamping platform. It's a little bit big in terms of using on your desk, but I do scrapbooking, so the opportunity to be able to do, because this is 12 inches long, so I can get, I mean, this is only about 8.5, maybe. Yeah, this is about 8.5 by 12, but I can get a 12 by 12 sheet in there because it's open on 3 sides and it's flat on all 3 sides. So I can get a 12 by 12 sheet in there and stamp on it, which I really like. Okay, so let me set those inks away aside. Then I took, for my vellum, I just took a piece of plain vellum and I ran it through with my embossing folder. And where did I put it? Oh, there it is. So I used this Sizzix embossing folder, and it's just like got little dots on it. And obviously it's too small, right? So I ran it that way and then again like that to give me the all over dot pattern. So it looks like a little bit like snow. So I'm going to put that right on over the top of there like that. And I just did it with some tacky glue. Now you could use brads if you want, or one thing that I've seen a lot of people do is use an adhesive sheet, because it'll go over the entire thing and then you don't see anything. But I have to admit, I don't see any, I mean, my glue is really not showing up because there's so much else going on. So that was my other glue. So hopefully this one won't show either. But whenever I'm gluing vellum, I do use a fairly small amount and try to just kind of put it in the corners or, you know, wherever it might be hidden. So I try not to put too much on. And the vellum is exactly the same size as my card, so 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then I'm going to mat that on a little piece of green. And then I'm going to put that on my 5 by 7 card base. Now, I just got to make I've got my sentiment, which I cut out of white twice and then gold, and I just layered it up. And that makes it a little bit, it gives it a little more rigidity. It's still, you know, because it's fairly fine, but it also gives it a little more height. But I'm not going to put that on until I get my Christmas tree. So I got to do my Christmas tree. So that particular tree is from Honeybee Stamps. So there's a die, which I cut the Christmas tree and the star. And I just cut the Christmas tree out of this green linen cardstock and the star out of gold. So you cut the tree. Then they have a matching embossing folder and stencils that go with it. So I'm going to run it through the embossing folder. So you just take the die cut, you line it up in the embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder, so let me run that through. And it comes out like that. I have to say this tree, Christmas tree from Honeybee Stamps, is my absolute fave. I love it. And then I don't want this bottom part of it, so I'm just going to trim that off. Then the stencils, there are 3 stencils. So this is the last one, so it's got little snow. And then these 2 stencils just go over the tree. And what I'm going to do, oops, it's upside down. So you just line it up. There we go. And I'm just going to hold on to it. And it's probably easier to you know, put on a sticky mat or something, but I'm not doing too much. And this is the Water Reactive Harmony Water Reactive inks, and it's the same family. This is Green Topaz. And I'm just going to kind of use my little finger dauber and give it a little bit of a light brushing. And then I also have the emerald, which smoked emerald, which is the dark one. And I'm going to use the dark right underneath, just to give it a little bit of variation in color. Okay. So there's stencil 1. Now stencil 2 is the next 2 sets of branches. And I'm actually going to just use the darker shade on all of that. But I'm going to focus a little more darkness around the tops of them. Okay, and there's stencil 2. And stencil 3 is, it's supposed to be the darker shadows underneath, but I actually used it in white to make it look like snow. So this is supposed to be the dark layer, but I liked, and this is just a white opaque pigment. And you could, instead of inking through the stencil, if you wanted to just kind of use like you know, fake snow or something, that would be really pretty. Or maybe some glitter glue. But I wanted to do it in white so that it looked a little bit more like snow. Okay. Isn't that just a cool, and I'm going to set it to the side because it's that pigment ink, so it's going to take a bit to dry. So anyway, if you want a beautiful embossed stenciled Christmas tree, the set from Honeybee Stamps with the die, stencils, and embossing folder are amazing. Love them. All right, so we're going to take our tree, and I'm going to put my star on the top of the tree. Actually, I'll go ahead and put my tree on my card with my 3D glue gel. I'm going to go ahead and put my star on with some glue gel as well. Slide my tree down so my star fits on there. And then I got to put my sentiment on. And by now you probably know how I glue on thin die cuts. So I just take my skinny die cut and just tap it into the glue. And it does help if you've layered it up like this because it gives it a little more rigidity. Now you could have run it through the Xyron. Probably would have been smart, but. And then just put it where you want it. And press it down. And then when this glue dries on your hand, you can just peel it off. Kind of probably takes a layer of skin, but it's fine. Okay. And there you go. That's it. It's actually pretty quick and easy to come together, and I have to say I love that card. I love the way it came out. So, hope you like it too. Thanks for watching.